This was an absolute prep course, and if you take anything from this video, take this advice from me. Hey guys, Mandy here from The Handmade Homeschooler, and I am going through the college process with my homeschooler, and this is getting really interesting. When I started here on YouTube, my kids were in kindergarten and 4th grade, and now I'm looking at college. Now, I want to state for the record, it is not hard to get your homeschooler into college. It's not. Like, it's literally the same process. As long as you have a transcript, and that can be homemade or purchased or whatever, you do, they can get into college. Like, it's super easy. They have to meet the same requirements as the other kids. So, whether that's a GPA requirement or whatever that has to be, whatever the college is that you're looking at. So, I just want to state that for the record, because I think that there's this misconception out there that homeschoolers can't get into college. That is the most false statement, okay? It's super easy, and we're already going through the processes of that, so I just want to ease your fears. Okay, so I have a couple of things that I have learned during this process over the last 3 or 4 days, over this last week, while we have been going through the process of getting our oldest set up for college and getting him enrolled and all of that. Okay, so my son is in 11th grade. He will be going into 12th grade next year. And one of the major things that we had to do was pick out what pathway he was going to go down. Now, I didn't want to pressure him. I didn't want to put all of this pressure on him to be like, you have to pick your major and that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life, and you have to do this while you're 16 years old. Because let's face it, a lot of us who went to college don't do what we went to college for. But I wanted to kind of document what this has been like and the things that have shocked me going through this process, because not a lot of us yet, in this batch of homeschoolers now, are having kids go into college. And I feel I feel like I'm more ahead of the game than many of you watching me as far as the ages of my children. So I'm just preparing you. So the first major thing that I saw that I had to tell my husband yesterday, I was looking at the admissions page this week, and they no longer require the ACT and SAT to get into college here. At least not the college that my son is looking at. And I'm like, what? I took my SATs 4 times to get a higher score so that I could get into the college that I wanted. Not that my score was bad the first time around, but I'm not a good standardized test taker as it is. I don't think most kids are. I think it's kind of rare if you have a good standardized test taking kid. I was not one of those children. However, I took mine 4 times because the college that I wanted to get into had a required score for enrollment. This college doesn't, and they stopped doing it, I guess, a couple of years ago. What? What? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, why couldn't they have done that when I was in high school? That would have taken so much pressure off of me. Now, they still actually say that your child should take the SAT and the ACT, or one or the other. And the reason for that is because it's helping them place the child in the classes that they need. So they take your math score and they say, okay, we think that you would do best in this math class. It wouldn't be too difficult for you. This is where you need to start out. So they take those scores just for course placement, but there's no required score to get in anymore. What? I'm sorry, I was super shocked when I saw that, and I had to tell you guys. I made a mental note to myself. I was like, I gotta tell the moms, this is crazy. So if you know the college, or if you are like me and you live in a college town, I have several colleges within drivable distance of us, one actually here in town. Go check it out. Go look at the admissions page, just for your own knowledge. Just go look at the admissions page and see what your college says. I want to know, if you're looking at colleges, Go peek at it and tell me, is your college requiring this? I need to know, because that blew my mind. That blew my mind. The next thing, this is just like a side note for me. I am so glad my child went through Structure and Style on IEW. Him taking that preparatory course, and I don't think we look at homeschool classes like this as prep courses. This was an absolute prep course, and if you take anything from this video, take this advice from me. Put your kid in Structure and Style, because my child will be applying for scholarships, and it really just hit me now how important this is, because he can write so well because of Structure and Style. If you have not checked into this, and yes, you can put your kids in it in elementary, middle, or high school. You do not have to have a prereq course. Yes, it helps if they have taken it since they were elementary students, but if they haven't, if they're going straight into it in high school, they're still going to get so much out of it. They're going to be better writers. Put your kids in this class. It's amazing how much better their writing becomes when they're in Structure and Style. And that's going to benefit his writing essays for the scholarship applications. I'm so glad we did this. He is going to just spit these out and they're going to be awesome. So I can't wait to see what he does with this. Really, really happy I did that. And it's one of those, like, I don't have to worry about it. I think he's going to be, awarded some decent scholarships. I have a feeling he's going to do very well with that. And we're already looking into these things. So really happy I did that. Now, if you want to try it, you can for free. I think there's like a month of free lessons on my IEW page. I will link that down below. And you can go just download it. You don't have to put in your credit card or anything. You can literally just hit that page down there and download the lessons, all the videos, and it's an online course. All of the videos where Mr. Pudua is teaching are included, and I think the worksheets too. So your kid will be set for like a whole month, and you can just try it out and see how your kids like it and how you like it. That's how we decided to get it. And I don't know, go check that out. It's made such a difference in my homeschool and in my kids. I think we would be in a much different place right now had the boys not taken that class. Okay, second, and I'm totally showing my age here. I don't want to hear anybody laughing at me. They can take almost all the classes, if not all the classes, other than labs, online now. Really? Okay, so my child has asked if he could go to online college. I got my bachelor's degree pretty much all online. I went to campus for a lot of the classes before I got married, and I finished it all online after I got married and I moved away from the college that was in my town. So I did kind of a hybrid. Online classes were very new when I was in college back in the very early 2000s. Now it's all online. That's so cool, because that's going to save him a ton of money because he doesn't have to leave the house. So I don't have to worry about a dorm or him getting an apartment or, having to do all of that. Plus, when I was able to take those classes like that, I was able to work to pay off those courses because I wasn't one of those lucky kids who had like the cool scholarships. My scholarships maybe paid for 1 or 2 classes, not my whole degree. So I was paying for most of it out of pocket. So I had to work full-time simultaneously while I was earning my degree. So I was teaching all day and going to college like late at night or doing the online class thing. Sometimes I didn't get home till 11, 12 o'clock. It was madness. But when I was able to switch over to online, or when I had a class that was online, it freed up so much of my time because I could work on the class during my off time. And I didn't have to stay up till midnight. So the fact that he can do that is fantastic because he can work a part-time job or a full-time job, whatever he wants to do, because, he'll be, he won't be a minor anymore. He can make that decision for himself. He can do whatever he wants to do for work, but on his days off, he can do school. He can do his college classes. I think that is awesome. I'm really glad to see that. So that's really cool. He can take all of his classes. The degree path that he has chosen now, all of the classes are online, which is amazing. Amazing. The last thing, trade schools are awesome. I have 2 local trade schools for me right now. and one is 45 minutes away, one is here in town, and I am learning so much about trade schools. The pathways are so different for trade schools than traditional school like what I went to in college. It is not the same. It is not the same. I had to take all of these math and science and history courses and things like that. They don't have to take none of that. Like my oldest, no. He's like going straight into his major, where the first 2 years of my college was all those basic courses that I had to take, and then the last 2 years were my actual major courses. No, this kid, he could, if he worked through the summers, he could probably have his entire degree program done in like 12 months. No kidding. Now they've broken it up into a 2-year program, but you totally could take this in a year. The schedule that I had, I could have had it done in a year. But I'm a little overachiever, so... And I worked through the summers too. I did a full course load as much as I could up until I got married, and then I had to take a break. But yeah, this degree program is so much simpler. Like, it's so cool. So trade schools are awesome. Find a trade school. And they have so many things that are considered a trade. Like even like computer sciences and things like that is technically a trade now, which I didn't realize that. I was so in the dark about trade schools because I have a Bachelor of Arts. So I knew nothing about trade schools going into this, but my kids had both expressed going into a trade. They watched a lot of Dirty Jobs when they were little, and they still watch Dirty Jobs. They've talked about going to trade school for years, and a lot of trades are dying. So honestly, I think trade schools are amazing. Now, I'm not saying that the liberal arts is dead or anything like that, or your kids are terrible for wanting to. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying my kids, they've always been interested in trades. And then when my son picked his degree program and picked something that he wanted to do, we were like, I wonder if that's a trade. And we looked it up and we were like, well, it is. We had no idea. So we're really excited about that, because that means it's less money, it's less time, and that is going to be so much easier on him, and he's not going to have to take all these boring classes that he has absolutely no interest in whatsoever. He can just go in and take the classes that he's interested in for his program. So really cool. Really, really cool. I'm learning so much about this, and it is at times a little bit overwhelming, but we're getting there. I'm gonna have a high school graduate, you guys. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with this. Anyway, so let me know. Go look up the college that your kid is interested in. Look through admissions and tell me, are they requiring SAT minimum scores, like requirement scores to get in? I need to know this. Like, is this a thing? Is this a thing now? I did not know this was a thing, that they were like letting go of the required scores. I'm not saying if it's good or bad. I'm just absolutely fascinated by this, and I kind of want to know the reasoning behind it. I have a feeling it probably started a couple years ago when all of the kids were out of school for a couple of years, and all of a sudden people were not meeting the minimum requirement, and then the colleges probably stopped getting money. That's just a hunch I have. I could be totally off base here. But the trends that I have seen in the school systems and the scores that are coming out for the school systems are really bad. Even in my local area, it's not good. It's really not good. So I'm actually really interested to see, and I kind of want to research this topic more just for my own curiosity. So let me know, are your colleges requiring it for your kids? And if you put a kid in college, let me know that down below, and congratulations, because this is nuts, isn't it? All right, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great rest of your day and happy homeschooling.